So this is going to be about the video I've never made because last Sunday I was going to make a typical soccer video and, well, there are other events. So I wrote something, I prepared something, usually just talking to the microphone and to the camera and see what happens. But this is sort of a prepared speech. There goes nothing. I was going to make a video about something insignificant. At least it turned out to be insignificant in the greater sense of that word. The clip was going to be about soccer, the main point of this channel. Except that last Sunday, more important events took place. And the events, I'm talking about the Texas church shooting, made soccer relevant. Because soccer, and any other sport, is mere entertainment that helps us cope with the drudgery of the everyday life, at least with the most mundane moments of our everyday drudgery. With its unique and scripted moments, an entertaining match provides a distraction at worst, with an occasional respite of joy thrown in now and again to please the die-hard fans. The ancient Rome had bread and circuses. The modern U.S. has the TV dinners and the NFL. But what happened last Sunday made it impossible to take the events of the day lightly. Every TV channel was covering the shooting wall to wall, and the escape from it was not only impossible, it was undesirable. At that moment, entertainment had to take a back seat to the somber moods we all felt. Even experience an irreverent, pleasurable second seemed sacrilegious. It felt like an affront to those who had suffered the day, an affront to their relatives and those mourning the dead. To the Americans, the most tragic event associated with the cancellation of the sporting going on was right after 9/11, when even the NFL took a week off. Those older may recall that NFL did not stop playing even after the JFK assassination in 1963. The one moment that stuck inside my head took place in December the 8th, 1980. I was much younger then, college freshman, watching the Monday Night Football game as narrated by Frank Gifford, Howard Cosell, and Dandy Don Meredith. The name of the teams are unimportant, but it was the Patriots versus the Dolphins out of Miami. And the reason that game, that evening, stood out was because it was that very night when John Lennon was murdered in New York City in front of his apartment building. To me, purely on an entertainment and cultural level, and in my own youth, my own upbringing, John Lennon was a far bigger figure than anyone I was watching on TV at the time. He was an icon. He was one of the Beatles. He was certainly much bigger than Monday Night Football and Monday Night Crew. But in retrospect, the reach of a televised football game added to the scope of the Lennon tragedy. Howard Cosell, who was the biggest name in sportscasting industry, he interviewed John Lennon personally and previously, and had a passing familiarity with an ex-Beatle. And he handled the news as well as could be expected. He didn't forget his duties either a journalist, or a sports announcer, or as a human being. Well, I obviously lack such a platform. I don't broadcast to 30 million people every night. Nor do I have any sort of exclusive knowledge or exclusive pain to share. Had I talked about the actual shooting, I would pretty much have piled on to the throngs of professional journalists and people who cover hard news. And so I didn't make a video, because had I done so, I would have felt guilty for bothering people with nonsense. And so I skipped the soccer clip on Sunday night. Maybe someday we'll come back and do it again, for real, for good.